Hey, this is Knife Standards. Today I'm going to be doing my full review of the Berg Blades Iron Pup. But first, please follow me at Knife Standards. You can follow me on Instagram. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for a lot more knife content and weekly knife reviews. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and talk about Berg Blades. And we'll talk about the Iron Pup, which I have in hand. I've been carrying this for a few days, and I should have done this review a long time ago, but I'm finally getting around to doing it. The bottom line is this knife is good. It's solid. I think solid is the best way to describe it. I think I got this for right around $300 if I remember correctly, maybe $290, just right around that price point. It is not a large knife. It is a titanium frame lock, very EDC friendly as far as sizing goes. There are a lot of really great things about this knife, and then just as many, if not more, things that kind of got looked over, and I feel like these things that got looked over can be improved. So from my point of view, there's a ton of room for improvement, and just little details that kind of got neglected. I'm for whatever reason. I'm not sure if it was intentional or not, but there's a lot of details on this guy that could be improved. So let's go ahead and go over just some details and specs and stuff, and then we'll get into the upsides, downsides, all of that. So drop point blade shape, we have I think this is 20 CV premium blade steel, top of the line. Hollow grind, fairly thin. I feel like it could be thinner. I'm not super impressed by the hollow grind, but it's solid. And compound grind, got the swedge coming down, flat. Tip is very thick. That's what she said. Anyway, you see the Berg Blades logo. This is thumb stud only deployment, and it's running on bearings. The action is actually really good. It's very smooth, very snappy. The detent is dialed in for a thumb stud deployment knife. And what else? Anything else I'm missing here? Oh, one thing that I'll just get out of the way real quick. I haven't disassembled this knife, but I was looking at the tooling marks, the screw, the Torx sizes, and I was like, are those all T8? Oh my god, that's so great. That's amazing. So I was like, oh yeah, here. T8, perfect. I was like, is that T8 too? No, it's T6, okay. And then just now I was like, oh, well, the body screws have to be T8. No, they do not. So we got T6, T6, T6. The only thing that is T8 is the pivot, which is a bummer. I don't even want to take this apart because I don't want to strip out these screws. Although that doesn't happen all the time, but for the body screws to be T6 also, huge miss in my book. I feel like this review is going to sound really critical, but again, it's a good knife. This is a solid EDC knife. There's a lot of great things about the knife. Don't get me wrong, but there's just so many details that are just like way off base. One of them having T6 body screws. I don't know why. Another thing, I love my thumb stud knives. I prefer that, but these thumb studs are just, I mean, I've heard people complain that they're too wide or too, out there. That doesn't really bother me. I mean, yeah, you could have like a little extra cutout or a chamfer here and bring the thumb studs in a little bit, but that doesn't bother me as much as just the style of studs. I don't know, they just look, I don't know if they're too plain or what, but it just, they look like they just kind of got stuck, screwed in there at the last second. They're like, all right, that looks okay. let's go with it. Let's go ahead and throw in some positive stuff here, just so I'm not ragging on the knife the whole time. But the action is great. Again, really snappy, solid, good acoustics. Nice little shake shut action, very smooth. Again, it's on bearings. D10 is great. So this is designed by Berg blades. I think is it Matthew Westberg? No, what's his name? Anyway, I'm pretty sure his first name is Matt. Anyway, he designed this and then of course had it OEM'd. So this is made in China, and you would think it's Riot or Bestech or something like that, but it's actually WE. I think now he's using Riot for his latest production runs, but this was OEM'd by WE. I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly. And WE's not my favorite, and I've heard some kind of crazy horror stories about OEM runs and production runs from WE, but WE did a pretty damn good job with this. Again, I wonder if some of these missing details are because of WE's productions or their decisions or capabilities, because sometimes that is the case. They say, oh, we can't do this, or we can only do it like that if you're trying to have a production run produced. So, man. One of the cool things about this knife, which I like, is the backspacer. Unfortunately, I only like half of the backspacer. This part where you see the tip is so cool. You can see if it's centered. It matches up. I really like that. Interesting little cutout. Very unique, very cool. But then they have the same thing on the other side. So I'm not sure why that cutout is there. I feel like that's kind of another, just another little detail. I would have preferred to see that just smoothed out and straight. The clip works fine in pocket. It's actually pretty comfortable. Not deep carry, obviously. Retention is good. Could they have moved this up a little bit higher? Probably. Maybe, done one screw all the way across. I think so. Through the backspacer. I think that would have been a nice design addition. Let's go ahead and get a quick, you hear the action. The action is great. And of course, this is a satin. There's like 20 different variations. You can't get these right now. I think they're sold out, but they pop up fairly frequently on the secondary market. So just check Knife Swap or something. But this is the satin finish, kind of plain Jane. Looks like blaster, maybe stonewash and satin. Stonewash handle, satin blade. But the grind lines are just a little, I don't know, they're a little wimpy for me. I'm used to these like really serious Bestech, Riot, like, whoa, you just stare at it. And this is fine. I mean, no complaints really, but it's just a little, compared to the other vertical belt satin finishes, I feel like this is a little, I don't know, a little down, like a little low key, and not in a good way, like a little subdued. There you go, that's the word. So let's go ahead and do a size comparison. We'll get another titanium frame lock. We got the Quiet Carry Drift, very, very, very similarly sized. And then, stupid, my love-hate, my like-hate relationship with my Southern Grind. That's a stupid knife. All right, and then let's go ahead and bust out a fourth one. I have my VBR on the table as well. I will go ahead and get these measured up. VBR, we know 3.5 and 8. It's a little bit out of view here. I'll go ahead and move everything up. Southern Grind, just about 3, 3.25, about 7.5 overall. Now for the Iron Pup, 3 inches. Got about 2.75 for cutting edge, and then we're looking at about 6.5 overall. And then of course for the Drift, just about 3 and 7. So this is like the ideal, for a lot of people, the ideal EDC sized knife. I think I would have liked just a slightly larger. I mean, I'm being kind of picky here, but just a slightly larger sized. If this knife was the size of the spider monkey, I feel like, man, that would be a serious upgrade. I don't know if he has any plans to do another run of these or to do a different version. He had what was it called? It's not the maybe Iron Wolf or something, or Iron Pup, because this is the Iron Pup. They had another one. It was a flipper that he did before the Iron Pup, so that was a little bit larger if I remember correctly, and that was, I feel like that was, I never handled one, but I feel like just from pictures that was closer to the size that I'm looking for. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Let's go ahead and talk about a couple more of these details that could be improved and a couple really nice things. There is a steel lock bar insert, great. T6 screwed, hold it in, not so great. I really like these cutouts, these little grooves for my thumb to get in there. Closing action is super smooth. One thing that I did notice about this knife, if you're experienced with frame locks, it's no problem. You kind of rest your finger behind the pivot. Boom. But if there's any lock bar pressure, I mean, it's not going to happen at all. So you have to be aware of that and be careful about that. If you're a frame lock beginner or even intermediate, you have to be really watch out. It's very, very sensitive to lock bar pressure. So I can lay off it, kind of, pin my fingers to the clip, get my finger behind the pivot, and then it's fine, super smooth, action is great. But I'm barely on there, and it will not deploy. So that's kind of a bummer. I feel like that definitely shrinks the audience for this knife, and a lot of people will be less interested just because of the sensitivity on the lock bar. Let's go ahead and talk ergos really quick. Ergos are damn good. Super comfortable. Zero hot spots. Everything is really smooth and rounded out, knocked down, chamfered. I don't feel the clip at all. Nothing pokey. What knife did I have that was a little poke? Oh, I think it was the Lucas P. It was another frame lock on thumb studs. It was just a little pokey on the clip. This just fits really nicely. So comfortable. I love the ergos. I love the ergos on this knife. So I feel like that's the best upside about this knife is the ergos are just so comfortable. It makes me want to hold this knife and use it and carry it. As far as carry in the pocket, it was fine. The clip, it kind of reminds me of the Brian Brown clip that he puts on all his knives. Similarly shaped, and it works really well. Overall, this is a solid knife. I would love to see T8 hardware. I mean, I haven't disassembled this, but I feel like if I disassembled, I feel like there's some free spinning hardware somewhere in here. I'm just getting that vibe, but I don't know. I can't say for sure. I could be wrong. If anyone's disassembled this, please let me know. We got the T6 hardware everywhere. I don't mind the clip. Could it be a little bit deeper? Sure. I do like the back spacer design. I'm not sure why it has this on the back side. One more thing, does it necessarily need it? I don't know, but there is no internal milling. This is just 2 slabs of titanium. as far as weight goes, this is not a light knife, especially for the size. This is, I mean, I'm not weighing it. I don't have a scale, but this is similar, at least for my feel, to the VBR. I mean, come on. Now I know this has inlays, this is full titanium, whatever, but this shouldn't be that heavy. I don't mind a tanky, overbuilt knife, like the Chavez Rendición, or something that's kind of overbuilt. I don't mind that, but I feel like for the size, it would be a great step in the right direction to have this lighter and milled out on the inside. It would just make it more carryable, because it's a small profile in the pocket, but you do feel it because it is kind of a chunk, as far as weight goes. I feel like they could do something about the thumb studs, maybe a different design, or I don't know. They look a little weird. They kind of poke out. I'm not exactly sure how you fix that, but do they work? Are they functional? For sure. Do they look the best? Not. From the side, fine, but here, not really. Overall, again, solid knife. It's nothing really to complain about, but could they do a better job on the satin grind? I think so. It's what it's like. And also, by the way, I'm not a fan of this box. Not a fan. It's really hard to open up. There's nothing to grab onto to open the box up. Kind of gotta dig your nail in there and I don't know. Not a fan of that. But anyway, it's like the Brian Brown did this video. I forget when exactly, but he had his I think his first run of Jaegers were done by We. And he had the Wee Jaeger, and then he had the Riot Jaeger. And the difference is, it's the same design. He said he sent the same exact CAD file or whatever it was, same design, and just the way they interpreted it. Wow, okay. Jesus. Was so different, and it was kind of clunky on the Wii side. So my solution to all this is have this done by Riot, or have this done by Best Tech, or have this done by someone other than we, and see what happens. Because this is pretty good. We did a good job. This is a good knife. Does it qualify for the $300 price tag? I'm not so sure. If this was $250, damn, what a good knife. I'd be happy. But for the details that it's missing, I would like to have seen this the price point come down just a little bit, especially for the size and these details that another OEM would have nailed. Again, I don't know if it's the OEM, I don't know if it's Berg blades, but I'm assuming it's the OEM. I don't know. I'm just getting that. From what I've heard about it is what it is. But I guess I'll never know. Overall, it is a solid knife. If you see one of these for $220, $200, even $250, I would grab it. It's just a really nice, fun EDC sized frame lock. I don't think you can really go wrong with it, but if you're going to be using this over and over and disassembling and oiling and everything, there has to be improvements. There has to be improvements. I wouldn't want to disassemble the T6 screws more than a couple times, and there are just other choices for the same price point that I would be more comfortable with carrying. Overall, solid knife. I think that just about wraps it up. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Knife Standards. I will catch you later.